This one group keeps popping in, but they keep popping back out every time I let them in. Did you all get in okay?
Mhm.
Okay, once I let you in, okay, you didn't like kick you out, make you come back? Okay. It might just be them then. They might just be in an area with a storm or something.
Storms are pretty bad in Dallas right now, again.
Oh, okay, that might be something that might be going
So,
on. I know. I'm like, oh, well, it's that time of year.
yeah.
We're rolling through. So, but it's like four women keep popping up and then I let them in and it keeps, then they come back again. So I'm just trying to get them in. Feel bad. It could be them. I don't know. Okay, well, we'll do a little, don't get offended. I'm going to mute you all besides Monica. Um, it's not lack of love. You can unmute at the end. It's just recording purposes. Even if you think you're quiet, if you shuffle a paper, guess what we hear on the recording? The shuffling of the paper, not Monica. So, I want to let you all know if you're new. I know sometimes I see new faces. Sometimes you've been doing this every week for the last, I don't even know how long we've been doing it. I don't honestly know. So, YouTube channel for the recording. Give us 24 hours. You put the Zoom on YouTube. It's my name, Jennifer Enlow. That's it. Nothing special. Go look at all of them for past years. The only thing you cannot do is come to me and ask for all the things from 2 or 3 years ago. I know I'm love you, but I would even know. I'm sure I can find it at some point, but just bear with me. But I did get talked into creating a Facebook page. So there's a Facebook page. If anyone since then, usually they attach their whatever. If they have a document or something they're sharing, we put it there for all of you. So I just want to welcome you all to Lunch and Learn. We're so excited to have you. This is for, I don't care if your ink is still wet on your agreement today, all the way to national. And we just kind of create it as a mid-week pick-me-up, as a way to kind of great minds think alike, to fuel the whole Mary Kay community. So yes, you can share it with everybody. That's always the question I get. If you're new, this can be, it's recorded, it can be shared anywhere. It's really just go give. So with that being said, Monica has taken her time and our busiest time of the year to pour into all of you. She already does something just so tremendous for the Mary Kay world already, Monica. Your heart is so go give. I cannot wait to learn more about you and to learn what you have to share today, because what I've seen is just total excellence. And thank you for what you already have done for the SOAR calls and challenges and all that you kind of mastermind and put all that together and do all the things. And some of you don't realize that's a feat in itself sometimes, right? To do those kind of
Yeah.
things, make that on nationwide. And it
Uh,
it does take time, and I can truly appreciate that. So I want you to know how much I appreciate you being willing to personally pour in, because this will go everywhere, my friend. And as you see, more people is just rolling in. So it's literally lunch hour, and I just deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate you so much for taking your time to do that. Thank you for being who Mary Kay would have envisioned to share and to love and to lead in her company. And thank you for giving. Oh, I'm gonna spotlight you. And if you don't like spotlight, friend, just unspotlight yourself, whatever. Turn back to gallery. Everyone always asks me to do that, and I forget to do that. But um, I'm gonna let you take over and just know I'm very grateful for you and your time.
Okay. Well, I thought and thought, like, what in the world am I going to teach these women about? So first I want to share a little bit about me. And I'm just going to tell you, things still always go perfect. Like today was not a perfect day. Today's a hair bun day. I'm noticing on here that my face looks lopsided, and I'm not really sure why. So if I tip my head like that, then my face doesn't look lopsided. We do that. We go, oh my gosh, it's not perfect. Oh no, what am I going to do? So I'm going to share a little bit about myself, because most of you don't know me, and I think how Jennifer knows me is I'm one of 3 directors that started it changes names every year depending on what the company's um, program is, where they give prizes. So whatever the name of the program is, we kind of changed the name of our monthly call, our Zoom reward for those who do at least a 300 by the 15th or a 600. If they do a 600, then they go into, and they do it every month, they get one oops month, then they go into huge drawings at the end of the year for lots of cash, which is happening next month. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, we have a few $1,000s to give away. I'm so excited. And then we give prizes every month for those who do at least a 600 by the 15th. Their name goes into a drawing for cash prizes. And it's just been a really fun thing to do for all of us. We've learned so much from these nationals and $1 million directors every month. And it is one of those blessings of the heart, because it does take some time getting the guest speakers and stuff. So I think that's how Jennifer knows me, is through that group. And I'm the behind the scenes person. I'm the one that does all the left brain stuff. I'm very left brain. Okay, so if you are like, I'm not a high I, if you're new and you're like, I don't even know what a high I is, your director can help you. I am not a high I at all. I do all the details because that is my gift. So one of the things I'm going to talk to you about today is a little bit of systems, but more about time management. And I think that as a very busy mom, I have 6 children. Now, before you panic, they used to all be at home. They're not all at home right now. I have 2 still at home. But let me rewind. I've always been really busy. I just like life like that. I take on probably too much. But one of the blessings of my existence is learning how to get a lot done in a short amount of time and keep my head about me doing it. And so prior to Mary Kay, I was a registered nurse. I worked 3 jobs. Yeah, that's real. And I had 3 children. So I worked at a hospital. I also did home health nursing, and I taught 21 piano students on the side. So when I say I take on too much, it's not a lie. When I was in college, I did a double major. I did piano performance and nursing. They don't go together. They don't even have the same base classes that you take. So I'm not really sure what I was thinking, but I did it anyway. And so I was really busy and I was really burned out. And the day I signed my agreement, I found out we were having our 4th child, which I wasn't planning on having another child. And then I had 3 more. So there's that. See, taking on a lot. And so I signed my agreement, and almost 9 months later, right before, well, I had my baby, and then 2 weeks after I had my baby, finished qualification for my car. So back then you had to first earn your car before you could go into DIQ. You didn't get to do it simultaneously. So you basically had 2 DIQ qualifications, because back then you had to have 12 team members and then the production for your car, and then you could submit for DIQ, and then you had to get to 30 team members, and then you could become a director. So I quickly went after that. I decided I wanted to be a director because I was tired, really tired working as a nurse. I worked night shift. And the reason I worked night shift is because I had children and I didn't want them in daycare. And so I'd sacrifice sleep to be home with my children. So I'm not saying that that's the thing to do, but that's what I did. And so when I signed up to do Mary Kay, I really didn't believe that I would be able to earn a car or become a director, but I knew that I would be able to make some extra money to put towards our crazy amount of debt. We had so much debt. I would scare you if I told you how much debt we had. And so that's why I signed up. But then my first month in Mary Kay, I became a red jacket. And the second month I went on target for my car. I would love to say, ooh, I just finished my car, or it was a 1-month wonder. Well, that's not true, because I was working 3 jobs and had 3 kids. So it took me a minute, and being pregnant, to finish up my car about 9 months later. And then I went into DIQ in December. That should say everything, because December is just busy in general, and I fell right out of DIQ. Then I went right back into DIQ and finished in February Fabulous 50s Elite. I don't even know if they have Fabulous 50s Elite anymore. What it was is you debut as a director with 50. You don't get to 50 after you're a director. You debut with 50. I didn't know it was any big deal. I didn't. My director just said, "Hey, you know what would be really cool? You should go for Fabulous 50s Elite." I'm like, "Cool, what's that?" And she told me, I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." So we went after it and we finished. And apparently it was a big deal because the company flew in for my debut and rented out this place called, it's the Salt Palace Convention Center. It's big. And there were over 1,000 people there. And I don't know how many of you know Tracy Giese or any of the corporate people, but they came and it was really fun. And Tammy Craig was, she was not yet $1 million director, but there was $1 million director there that had passed away that very next year. Her name's Robin Varley. She was the first $1 million director here in Utah. And it was like this dream come true. Like, what, I didn't even know what I had done, but this is what I'm good at doing. Not looking at what does it take, just going, okay, let's just run as hard as we can. And wherever we fall, we fall. Because I think we get so wrapped up in the details of what it is that we want that we self-sabotage because it seems too huge. And then we get in our heads and think we can't do it. So one of the things that I'm really good at, again, is just focusing straight on just doing the effort, because that's all you have control over. And dreaming and doing the effort, and dreaming and doing the effort, and putting in more effort than you think might be necessary to reach that goal is really usually what it takes. So if you look at people who are really successful, regardless of what industry they're in, they typically are the ones that do the and then some. They don't do the minimum. They don't do the, oh, well, I need to do 30 faces this month if I want to earn a car. No, you shoot for more than 30 so that you land at 30 or a little bit more. And that would be Mary Kay's ism of, you know, shoot for the moon, because then even if you land among the stars, it's really great. And that's basically that same premise. So I became a director 1 year after signing my agreement. So technically I haven't been in Mary Kay very long because I signed my agreement on leap year. So that makes me feel really good because I actually have been in Mary Kay quite some time. So we finished DIQ in a Cadillac. And then the very next year we did 500,000. And that was really fun. And it was a lot of effort and a lot of dreaming and a lot of people and a lot of belief and a lot of time management, because if you heard what I said, I was pregnant when I signed up. Found out the day I signed up that I was having a 4th child. So I've done Mary Kay in so many different ways, with little tiny children, birthing a baby, went through a divorce, lived through the first 7 years of my career, a very abusive marriage, finally was able to get out of it. Little did I know that God put me in Mary Kay to help me get out of that situation, so that, yes, I was working as a nurse and I had that income, but to be able to have 4 children and be a single mom and work from home and support them, I didn't know these little intricacies that God placed me in, having no idea that that was a way to help me get out of that situation. Then was a single mom for a couple of years, married Mr. Charismatic, fantastic, and he didn't have children. So we decided to have 2 more. I have 2 teenagers still at home. So my oldest child is 35 and my youngest child is turning 15 on Sunday. So I had brand new babies with teenagers. That's the busiest as a mom I can ever remember being. It was whoa, because 2 different directions of life. When you have little kids and they're all little together, you kind of live that direction, but then you have teenagers and you have babies. It's like those poor babies just kind of got drug around with us to all the activities. And at that time, my husband decided that he wanted to also be an entrepreneur. It wasn't probably the best idea, but I ended up being the sole support for our family for almost 10 years with Mary Kay, with all of the crazy, all of the busy. And then children getting married and moving out. And I have almost 11 grandchildren. We'll have another one the end of June. And so it's still busy. Also, I decided to homeschool my youngest two kids. It wasn't a decision, actually. It was a, I don't know how many of you, I don't know what your faith background is, but I rely heavily on inspiration and prayer. And I had this dream 3 nights in a row at the exact same time where it woke me up, and it was, you're going to homeschool your girls. And I'm like, whoa, that is a nightmare. I'm going back to sleep. And so that happened 3 nights in a row. And the third morning when I woke up, I told my husband, and he said, it looks like you're going to be homeschooling. I'm like, oh, this is not my idea of a good time, because I was just thinking, woohoo, my girls are finally going to school. I'm really going to be able to dedicate so much more time to my business. And God said, hold up there, sister. Here's what you're going to do. And it has been the biggest blessing. I cannot even tell you what a blessing. And even though I felt completely and totally inadequate and had no idea where to begin, we started that homeschool journey. When COVID hit and everybody was homeschooling, or crisis schooling is what I called it, we didn't skip a beat. It was what we were already doing. The only impact it really had was the social impact. And now that's kind of back to normal. So like I said, I've always been really busy, and you probably are too. You probably have a lot going on in your life. One of the funny things about me and people and how they see me is I've heard people say things like, well, but your life is so easy. Everything's just so perfect all the time. And you know what Mary Kay says? You want to be like a duck, paddling under the water as fast as you can, but looking like you're gliding on the surface. And those people have no idea the things that my life has entailed. My life has been far from easy. And probably that's your story too. So how do we navigate our businesses, our life, be very successful, and still keep our sanity? And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about time management and a little bit about the thought process, how you think matters. So as I was thinking about what to talk to you about today, I was like, you know what? One of the things that hold us back is we have a certain idea in our head as to how things must be. Some of it comes from ourselves. Some of it comes from these type of trainings or other powerhouses in our lives, regardless if it's Mary Kay or something else that says, this is what I do. And so in our mind, we go, wow, in order for me to be successful, I have to do that. And that's not true. It's absolutely not true. You can find your own direction. You have to do what works for you. Because if you get stuck on, well, I have to do it that way, you will hold yourself back. So this might surprise most of you. And if there are other top directors on this Zoom, they might want to reach through and shoot me. But I have never been a member of the 5 o'clock club, ever. I had 6 children. I have had children under 18 years old for 35 years. I needed sleep. And I also worked night shift. First of all, I didn't even get home until like 6 or 7 a.m. And so it messed up my circadian rhythm. So even after I was no longer working as a nurse, the 5 o'clock club was not on the table for me. If it works for you, I think that is absolutely fantastic. I don't sleep in. I don't stay in bed a long time, but I know what kind of sleep I need. I know what my body needs. Do you? Or are you running somebody else's schedule? Obviously, when you have children in school, etc., you have to get up at a certain time and get them off to school. That's awesome. So plan your day based upon that. Plan your day based upon what works for you and your body. So one of the things that's super important to me is my health. Other than my faith, my health is the most important thing. And I know Mary Kay says God first, family second, career third. But you know what? If my health is failing, I'm not there for my family. And I'm definitely not in for my career. Not at all. So my faith and my health are the number one priorities in my life, which include me getting adequate rest, especially as a woman. Did you know that your hormone function does not work well if you aren't getting enough rest? And this might help you to figure out what works for you. I have not been sick other than I had COVID, and I had COVID only for 24 hours. So that should tell you something. I was a little fatigued. I had a low-grade fever and I lost taste and smell. But my immune system was so high that it just didn't knock me out. So, other than that, I have not been ill since my oldest son was 9 years old. That's how serious I take my health. That's how serious I take my health in eating, in my supplementation, in my exercise, in my rest. Because if you get sick a lot, check how much sleep you're getting, because your body will make you take a break. And I don't want to take a break sick, do you? Because then I don't get anything done. So I would rather take a break to make sure that I don't get sick or that I get enough sleep. So if the 5 o'clock club works for you, I am so happy. It doesn't work for me. The 6:30-ish club works really great for me. Okay. So whatever works for you. And so I hope there's no nationals or top directors that are like, I could shove cotton in her mouth right now, tell her to shut up. Okay. The other thing is I've always had a lot on my plate. So how do you figure out what works for you in your time management? Some of you doing a 6 most important list is super important. I wish I only had 6. If you have not heard Linda Tupin's training on every Saturday or Sunday, doing a dump list of an ABC dump list, I hope you go and find it. I think if you go to her website, the training should be out there. Basically, it's this. A priority is, this is something I absolutely have to do. I cannot delegate. And it is critical. And it's a huge long list. It's not just 6, it's everything you can think of, because you just get it out of your head so you don't think about it at night and you can get rest. B is, it's important, but it's not critical. Somebody else could probably do it. And then C is, I don't need to be doing this. Somebody else can be doing this. I am going to be delegating this. Then from that, you create your 6 most important list and your weekly plan sheet. So a lot of people live by a weekly plan sheet. Again, directors are going to hurt me. I kind of do my own weekly plan sheet. I grew up on a ranch. We are just get in, get it done, put it in wherever you can fit it. And there wasn't a specific schedule. I like things a little more fluid. And when I do a plan sheet, and I do it not on a like a specific plan sheet, I grab a piece of paper and write down the things that I need to get done, and the things that have specific time frames that they need to happen. Those are on my plan sheet. It might be on the back of an envelope. Maybe I'm the only one out there that I'm like, oh, I didn't write that down. Give me an envelope. And this is where I cross things off today. I might be the only one. I don't know. But I get a lot done in one day, because for me, I'm not so structured. If I have to do it by a certain time, for whatever reason, it shuts me down. So if I just have a general, like, let's say I have a doctor's appointment at a certain time, that's a non-negotiable. But everything else around my day can be negotiable when I have to have it done, unless there's a specific time, like I'm doing a Mary Kay party or an interview or something like that. Obviously, that's non-negotiable on the time frame. What I find for myself is I don't allow myself enough time for certain activities, and then I get frustrated because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to fit it in. That took a lot longer. I like to have fluidity. And being a nurse, you just kind of fit things in your shift. You had certain things you had to do at certain times, but other things you just kind of fit in. And that's how I've always run my life, because of my upbringing and because of my previous occupation. So I learned how to take little tiny moments of time and shove a lot in there. How fast can I get it done? How fast can I do this? Now, people time isn't something that you can do super fast. So you have to be a little more fluid with that and give yourself a lot of time. But I'll give you an example. When I was working as a nurse and I had to pre-profile for a party, if I had a couple of minutes, I would quickly go in the break room, make a couple of calls, come back out, check my patients, go back in, make a couple calls. Does that make sense? So I just shoved as much into a 5-minute period of time as I possibly could to get a lot done. So that might not work for you. For you, you might need it like written out. Here is exactly when I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and you have to have it written down or it doesn't get done. Again, you have to figure out what works for you. And if you haven't done Linda Tupin's time study recently, I recommend doing it a couple of times a year. What it is you can just do a piece of paper if you want, or I think there's a sheet out there. If not, I have one, and Jennifer, I can probably get it to you. The time study sheet, where every 30 minutes you write down what you're doing for 24 hours. Pardon me, I suddenly have a scratch in my throat. Every 30 minutes, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Because you may not be aware of where you're wasting time. And I know some people, it might be television, it might be Netflix, it might be something like that. Other people, it might be social media. Television has never been my crutch because I just haven't ever had time to watch TV since I was in high school. But social media, I have found, for me on occasion, can be that hiccup. And it's not that I'm reading everyone's posts or just scrolling, but it's easy to go down rabbit holes, if you know what I mean, especially with the current climate of our world, like what is going on. And then next thing you know, 30 minutes, you just lost 30 minutes of your life. And that is no fun, to look back and go, wow, look what I could have done. It's also important, though, to schedule downtime, to be okay with, I'm going to take 15 minutes on social media. I'm going to read these things. I'm going to check in with friends, or post and don't scroll. It's okay to do that. It's okay to give yourself permission a certain amount of time and be scheduled with that, so that you have that interaction, but you don't feel guilty about it. And guilt is a tool of the adversary to make you feel less than, to make you feel like, oh, I'm not as good as this person, or shame because you just spent 30 minutes instead of 15 minutes on social media. And then you beat yourself up, and then you start the negative spiral talk, which we all do, every single one of us, all the time. And so just giving yourself permission to do certain things that work for you, and being honorable to yourself about that, being honest with yourself, will make a huge difference in your belief in what you can accomplish. And if you find that, oh, shoot, I did it again, stop. Just don't beat yourself up. Just say, oh, okay, well, awareness. I'm aware now, I did it again, and I will go again tomorrow and change things a little bit. So, Jennifer, how much time am I supposed to do? We didn't ask this.
Well, that's fine. You just go till you're done. We usually do like 20, 30 minutes. So, but
Okay.
already shared, give it, girl.
Okay. I just wasn't sure because I didn't ask in advance. So, how many of you, and you can come off of mute, some of you, struggle with time management? Because usually when you do, and then you spiral down mentally, then you stop believing what you think you can do. And we also think, oh, it has to be perfect, or it has to be like someone else instead of what works for me. And then we give up and we go, oh, I can't do this because I'm not like that person, or I can't do it this way, or the way that somebody taught me. And then that holds us back from what we really want in our business, in life in general. And it's unhealthy, definitely unhealthy. So, how many of you, what stages of life are some of you in? I've done it with teeny tiny kids to all sorts of different ways, done Mary Kay. So how many of you struggle with time management, or maybe that's your hiccup, or maybe you have some questions, etc., that I could more specifically answer and direct you on what works for me? I can't direct you on what would work for you, but I can give ideas.
I'll go first. My name is Latasha Williams. I'm one of Jennifer Enlow's girls. I would basically say I struggle with time management very badly. I know when it's stuff like I have to do for my house, I do that very well. When it comes to my business, I don't.
Very good. Okay. So when you do things for your house, do you schedule it or you just get in and get it done?
I just get in and get it done.
Okay, is it rewarding for you to see? I have the scratchiest throat. I apologize. Is it rewarding to you to go, it's like the clean out the refrigerator feeling when you take care of your house and you clean your house? Is that something that you feel when it's an accomplishment when you get your house done?
Yes, because first I'll take a picture of how it looks
Mm.
and like a before and after. When I see the before, I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I do the after and it's all done, it just brings me so much joy.
Mm-hmm. So in what way do you feel like you might be able to transfer that to your business?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
So if you had a list of if I called 2 people today or reached out to 5 customers or whatever it is that you have on your list, what could be a reward for you for doing that?
If I call like 5 people and they respond and say yes, they would like to do a facial or they would like to purchase something, that would just for reward for me. I would probably do 5 more calls. That's yes.
Nice. What if you said to yourself, I'm going to reach out to 5 people, and I don't care what the reach outs are. I don't care if they're customer service or booking or whatever. What if none of them said yes? Could the reward still be, I did it?
Yes,
I
definitely.
accomplished. Okay. And what if you did that before your house? What if part of the reward was, I don't get to clean up or do whatever task it is in my house that brings me such joy until I make those 5 phone calls?
I could do that. Yes. So that reward would be, I mean, that I accomplished something in my business, and so then I can go forth with doing stuff in my house.
Yeah, because that's a reward to you because it gives you that accomplishment feeling. So then you would have a double accomplishment. I call those daily victories, where even if it's 1 call, and it doesn't need to be big. I think sometimes we make it so big, like we want all of these things right now. And so we make it so huge, like maybe you guys don't do this, but I did. I'm going to talk to 10 people today and hand out my card. And I had this huge list of things I was going to do and it was overwhelming. So what if it was only 2 calls every single day, 5 days a week? And you did it every day. You had a daily victory every day. And at the end of the week, you had a bigger reward. And you get to decide what that reward would be. For me, it might actually be cleaning out the refrigerator.
That
Uh-oh.
sounds good. I would definitely, yeah, would try that, and I'm gonna like make my phone call as soon as this Zoom is over, and I'm gonna make 10 calls because I did get 5 telephone numbers today, so I will reach out to those 5 people, and I go from there.
That would work perfectly. Did y'all lose me? Can you still see me?
You're like, yeah, frozen.
Okay.
You keep
I
freezing.
got a call. I had to use my phone. Speaking of pivot, we have to be able to pivot. My computer, for whatever reason, wasn't working right when I needed to do this Zoom. Do you ever have that happen? Do y'all have things happen at the last minute? How flexible are you? How many from point A to point B options do you come up with? Because I remember telling one of my assistants when I was a newer director and she was struggling with something, and I'm not the type of person that will just jump in and do it for you. I'm not. My parents taught me that, because when you're growing up on a ranch and no one is around to help you, you better figure it out. So I remember telling her, Ashley, there are 360 points around the circle. I promise you there's one that will work. If you can't figure it out, after you try some of the things that you come up with, come and get me and I'll help you brainstorm. So we have to be able to pivot. You have to be flexible in your business. And that's what I'm talking about in time management. You have to be flexible. If I can't do it right now, when can I? But will I be true to my word, to myself, and complete it no matter what before I go to bed tonight? To thine own self be true. Will you do that? Are you flexible? And will you do it if you don't do it exactly when you have it scheduled? And how can you make that happen? We are make it happen kind of people. We are, all of us. You have it in you to make it happen. So being able to be flexible, and dang it, I'm on my phone. And so I got a call again, being flexible. And it just is what it is. And you just roll with life, but you make it happen anyway. Okay. I so appreciate you asking that question. Does anyone else have, like, what would you do in this situation? I have little kids. I'll tell you, homeschooling and running my business, because it's been, let's see, 11 years of homeschooling now. So obviously I have to run my business too. When I would be getting ready in the bathroom, I'd be like, bring your stuff into the bathroom. While I'm doing my mascara and getting ready, we are doing some schooling, and we homeschooled all over our house. I would be in my office and I would say, okay, I have some homework to do. I have some things that I have to do. So while I'm doing this, my work, you get to be doing your work. When they were teeny tiny, I had a drawer where I had things that they could only play with or use when we were in my office. So one of them, if you have tiny kids, is I would get paper clips. Okay, not too tiny, because you don't want them at the age where they're going to put these in their mouth. But I would give them a box of paper clips, and they would have to string them together, and we would measure how far they got, and if they beat the length from the last time that they used the paper clips, and they thought that was a blast. Anyway, I have tons of those ideas. So what other questions might you have for me, or what other hiccups or things do you feel like this is really holding me back in my business? Not that I have all the answers, but I might have some ideas.
I'm going to look at the chat and see.
Okay.
Oh, overestimating how long something will take. Amen to that.
That is real. Don't we all do that? And then we feel like failures, and it's the feeling like a failure that makes you stop. And that's what you don't want to do, because anytime you feel like a failure, just know that that's the adversary going, look, you can't do it. And then you get stopped. So that should be a wake-up call of, oh no, I'm going in the right direction, because these things keep coming up and it keeps stopping me. And that just should tell you, nope, you're on the right path, and boulders keep getting thrown in front of you. And that's not a, oh, I should stop. This probably isn't for me. That's a, nope, you need to keep going. Go over, under, around, and through that boulder. Just keep going. You're on the right path.
Yes, I love that. I'm looking to see. Laura says she homeschools too. Has horrible time management.
Oh, okay. So again, with my children and homeschooling, I don't mirror public school. That's not the idea of homeschooling. Homeschooling is that you don't mirror public schooling. We don't have to sit down and do these things. Well, on occasion you do. But you can do it in and around everything. We do it in the car. I had meetings, and they would have to come with me to different things. They were a part of this amazing, absolutely amazing choir called Millennial Choir. And you can actually look that up online. It's in, I think, 8 different states. And so on our way to choir, we would do school in the car. While we were waiting for their turn to be rehearsing, we had their stuff and we would do schooling. We travel quite a bit. We just take it with us. They have these little bins, and you just do it everywhere you go. And it doesn't have to be sit down, do some worksheet. You can teach while you go through life and ask lots of questions, and do math problems and social situations and geography and history wherever you go, and they actually retain it more. So again, being very fluid and flexible with your schedule, but knowing here's what gets to get done today. And my girls love, I don't know if they love it, but they throw it back at me a lot. I'm like, oh, I'll say, I don't want to do this, whatever it is today. This is them parroting back at me. Yeah, well, you get to. because they've heard that their whole life. Like, well, I know you don't want to, but you get to. This is what we're doing today. And so it's fun when it gets thrown back at you. So as long as it gets accomplished that day, in and around anything and everything you have going on, that's a win. Now, it's not fun if you're doing it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So let's not do that, because then you're losing sleep. But being a little more flexible with your, and not taking tons of time though. What I mean by that is sometimes when we're too fluid, we go, oh, I have all the time in the world. And so being structured but fluid, does that, am I communicating that very well? Like, you can't waste time because you're like, oh, but my schedule is more fluid. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just be a little more flexible, but make sure you get it done within a certain amount of time. Give yourself much more time.
Love that. I'm looking. I don't see anybody. I think we got them all. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking through. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. And I'm glad we record it because I take a lot of notes. And sometimes I got to hear things a couple times. Let it play while I'm doing other stuff. So anybody else have anything, a question or anything they want to say to Monica to affirm her? I want to, before we go today, I want to make sure we didn't miss anybody because some of you aren't on camera, so I won't see it. So I just want to make sure I didn't miss anyone.
Oh my gosh, Monica, this was absolutely amazing. So one of my girls gave me a little bag that says, just tell me where to be and I'll be 20 minutes late. Yeah, so the whole time management thing, struggle. But the homeschooling and everything like that, I've got a unit member that absolutely needs to hear this. So thank you, Jennifer, for recording it. And thank you, Monica, for saying it. This was perfect for the end of the month for me.
Well, and look at how are you setting yourself up for June? What's important? What must be done? Because what you do in June will set you up for the entire next year. And if it's, I am doing 30 faces in 30 days, then you do whatever it takes, but being more fluid in, I'm setting up my next year. What is your goal? What is it you're going to do? Break it down so that you can have a daily victory and you do not go to bed until that daily victory is complete. But being so structured on, well, I have to do it this time because so-and-so said, I think that's where we get hung up. And so just remember, I say a lot of Linda Tupin. She's one of my favorite friends and mentors. And she says, one, a confused mind does nothing. So if you have too much scheduled, you're not going to do it. And secondly, hang on, I just lost what I was going to say. Oh, well, it'll come back. A confused mind does nothing. And I don't know. It will come back if it's important. But creating that, I'm a woman of my word and I am going to do whatever it is. And that is up to you today. So my question today for you is, what one thing are you going to do today before you go to bed for your business? And it's a daily thing. It's that daily victory that, yes, I did it. I was true to my word. Because the more you do that, the more you build confidence, the more you build belief in yourself. Because it's our belief in ourselves, not someone else's belief in us, but our belief in ourselves that we will actually follow through that makes us victorious. Because someone else can tell you all the potential you have and you could be really great, but if you don't believe it and you don't take a step forward and you don't have that daily victory, which builds your confidence, you'll never get there because you won't believe it. So start small. Don't make a huge list. Don't go, I'm going to be a director in 3 days, because I've actually heard that. And I'm going to call, 200 people today. It's not going to happen. You're not going to do it. I know you're not. Most people don't. But can you call 2? Can you reach out to 2? Can you get 2 new names today? If not, can you get 1? What is your victory today? What scares you but doesn't overwhelm you? And make it, I'm telling you, make it tiny. And then do the tiny. And then tomorrow, it's like working out. Have you ever gone and worked out? and you haven't worked out for a long time and you're so sore, you're like, I'm not going back for 5 days. And then you don't want to go back. But if you start smaller and you build, it gets easier. So what is your victory today? It might be just filling an order that somebody called with a Mary Kay reorder and you haven't sent it out yet. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But whatever it is, make sure you do it today. Write it down right now. I would feel like I had a huge victory in my business when I complete this one small thing. Do it for every aspect of your life. The physical, the spiritual, your Mary Kay business, your family, one small thing. And then build upon that one small thing a little bit at a time, because you'll have belief in yourself. You'll know that you can do it. And then everything will just fall into its proper place and order. Oh, and pray a lot. What would be best for me to do today? Where are you leading me in my business, with my family, with my spiritual life today? And then be 100% obedient to that, and get still after you pray and write it down. Just get still, and whatever comes to your mind, write it down, and then don't doubt it and just do it. And then you'll look back, if you write it down. I have a prayer journal, and you'll go, oh my goodness, this is God speaking to me, and I did it, and I was obedient, and look at how he led me. And magic will happen.
I love that. I love that so much. Go ahead, Sandy. I see you. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. So Monica, first of all, thank you for doing the SOAR events.
You're welcome.
We're taking part in that, although I want to get, it stronger. And then thank you for mentioning health, because as I'm getting older, it's like, oh, this really needs to be a priority, and yeah, it really does. And I love that you put it in the, Mary Kay's scheme of things. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, you have nothing if you don't have your health.
Amen.
You can't function. So it's really important to me.
Yeah.
But you have to know what works for you. What you need. Listen to your body. You have to listen to that. Yeah. So you're welcome. Also, for those of you who are on SOAR, because I'm very left brain, I have these wonderful girlfriends who aren't left brained, and they say things. They say things more like a high I, and I just say things like, this is the plan. This is how it is. And I have to put smiley faces and stuff so that people don't think I'm upset, because I'm not. Anyway.
Love that. I love that. Oh my gosh, girls. I hope you all have an amazing next, short of 48 hours to month end, and rock out all the way to June. Thank you for joining Such Learns. And I'll get the recording out and I'll post it everywhere, probably in the morning like I normally do on Friday morning. So however you learned about it is probably where you'll see it. Thank you again, Monica, for all your time.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right. Go out and make victory happen today, ladies. Thank you for having me on.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.